From the WDXY studios in historic downtown Sumter, At Your Service Home Care presents Medical Forum with moderator Jeff Reed.
And welcome to Medical Forum. I'm your host, Jeff Reed. My co-host, Chris Marr. Dr. Marr, how are we doing on this Saturday morning?
Did you have a nice week?
I did. You have a good 4th? We haven't talked since the 4th.
We did have a nice 4th.
Did you get out of the house?
Well, went down to Charleston to see the thunderstorms.
You mean the fireworks?
No, the thunderstorms.
Okay.
We missed the fireworks because of the thunderstorms.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you, last week it was great for Mr. Givens Glenn Givens come in and educate us a lot on elderly care. I think it's a lot for us to think about. I learned a lot. Still had a lot of questions, so we'll certainly have to have him back on, but we appreciate him coming in on July 4th.
Absolutely. A lot of information to pass on to our clients, but again, a lot of information for myself to consider. Well, that we don't tend to think about.
Twice this week it was brought up. Actually, I had a client, it came in from Las Vegas that had power of attorney and had the directives and everything, and they've all got to be redone here in South Carolina. So it's a good learning experience. Go down there and see him at the Culp Law Firm, Givens and Murphy Culp Law Firm. But today, we have someone I've known for 20 years, probably, who heads up a division of Tri-County and MediHome, a resource community nurse, and Miss Cheryl Fluharty is joining our illustrious cast this morning. Thank you for coming in on a little 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Well, let's do this. We always like to give a couple minutes here, Cheryl, to give us, your background here. I know you're Sumterite a little bit and been working in all facets of the medical industry. And then we'll talk about what a resource community nurse is and some of the causes and some of the great things that you and your company bring. So take a couple minutes here. Full name, tell us some contact information, and tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. I'm an RN here in Sumter, and I am a Sumterite. My mother retired from Toomey Hospital after 40 years, and I think that's where I decided to be a nurse. I've worked in several areas of nursing, to include oncology. That was one of my first nursing career jobs, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. Med-surg, dialysis. Worked a little bit in nursing home care, but most of my career I've been in hospice, and I've been there 14 years. Worked for Medical Services of America, Hospice Care Tri-County. Been there 14 years. Started out as an RN case manager.
Right.
Was the director of nursing there for 6 years. I actually stepped down for a little while and took care of my precious mother who was on hospice, and after she passed away, I came back, and that's what I'm doing now is the community resource nurse and the community educator for Hospice Care Tri-County.
Very good. That sounds like a very busy schedule. Quite accomplished. And do this. Let's talk about resource community nurse. What is that in a nutshell? We know of a hospice nurse. I think we've heard of home health nurse, oncology nurse, in a practice like Dr. Marr's, but a community resource nurse. What is that?
Well, basically what it is, as MSA has really visited patients in homes through home health and hospice and other areas, we just realized there was such a gap, in patient care, especially between home health and hospice. So basically it was our way of giving back. We found that seniors especially just don't know, what resources are out there for them, and they're wanting to stay home. Mm-hmm. And when I go in, I do assessments, and that could be anything, identify needs, and it could be anything from medications. Maybe I'm reviewing them, maybe they're confused, maybe they're new medicines, and we kind of go through that. If need be, call their doctor and, kind of update him on things. It could be safety issues, and we can refer them to various places to make sure they're in their home safe. We also do a assessment that includes things like maybe they need caregiver help, seniors taking care of seniors, and they just need resources to, for caregivers to come help them, or maybe they need meals delivered, or maybe they're isolated and they need to be able to get to senior centers. And, and I provide them all the information I can through the resources here, like Santee Lynch's and just the Alzheimer's group, the senior centers themselves, and just try to get them involved in as many resources to keep them home.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, I can't tell you how important Cheryl's job is. As a physician, a patient and their family comes into the office and has a set of issues. You try to work through the issues, discussing resources, but until someone goes out into the home, it's very difficult to really assess what they have, what they need, and what we can get them. It takes someone like Cheryl to know the resources that are available to really offer the resources to the families. So, for instance, home health, hospice, families may not know that they qualify for it or need it, and nurses like Cheryl go out to the home and really educate the family and offer them resources that they may not even have known were available.
Well, we talk a lot, Cheryl, about Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, and what they cover. And, one of our main sponsors at Your Service Home Care, and Chris and I, fortunately, are owners of the company. We had a huge learning curve when we noticed it. You mentioned the word, the bridge and the gap seem to be two words that constantly come up in this. I, knowing medical equipment, understand what Medicare, Medicaid, and Blue Cross cover, and Dr. Marr in his practice knows that with wellness and checkups and things like that Medicare is a very good vehicle. Home health, hospice, very good vehicle. But what you do, if I'm understanding it, is these are places where, like finding caregivers, Medicare doesn't pay for that. Finding someone that might need a ramp built to get in from their house, to get from A to B, Medicare doesn't pay for that. Knowing that as we talk about, and we'll talk about some of the networks of people that you work with after we come up on our first break here, it's great to see the resources that Sumter has. And in insurance, I think, is a great tool. But when we come across things like you've mentioned with caregivers and ramps and meals and transportation, you're out there, for lack of a better word, bird dogging and find out who all can pay for this. Because like Chris said, people don't know this.
Exactly. And when we go out, we're just doing this as a community service. There's so many programs out there. Like I mentioned, Santee Lynch's, senior centers, but there's the VA programs. And a lot of our veterans, they, might have TRICARE, they're, involved in that, but they don't realize that there are other connections.
Well, very good. And as we come up on our first break, I want to thank our sponsor, Toomey Home Healthcare Systems. Go down and see our buddy Jeff Fall at the Toomey Foundation and do everything you can to support all those causes the foundation does. They give so much back to the community. Give them a call at 774-9498, and we will be back to talk about those that you've mentioned, some of those associations, Cheryl, after this first break.
Back with the latest in health and medical news on Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care, WDXY 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When you buy home and car insurance, you'll receive a multi-policy discount. And when you buy life insurance, you'll get a special discount on your home and car insurance. Auto Owners will save you money on all of the insurance you already have. Now that's good policy. This is Sandy Wilson with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine, and they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
This is Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
And we are back with our second segment of Medical Forum. I'm your host, Jeff Reed, with our co-host, Chris Marr. Cheryl Fluharty is in the building today. We're very happy to have her. And for those of you that might be tuning in after the first segment, we had talked about what Cheryl does with MSA. Did we call it MSA? I think that's
it's MSA.
Yeah, Medical Services of America. I think just located over here in Columbia, been around for a long time, and she's our resource community nurse. And I'll be honest, I've been in medical business 15 years. Are you about the only one that does that here in town?
Yes, we are.
Well, what a great service that you do, and I know that your services are a way that your company gives back to the industry. And when we left off, we were talking about some of the other great services that you have worked with and are associated with. So in the time that we have this morning, let's see if we can cover a few of those. Let's talk about, how about we talk about some of the events that in the, what do you
support
call?
Groups?
Yeah, I like the support groups. I mean, I think that this is something I actually read in the newspaper, and that's one good thing, the Toomey item. If any of you want to know about the support groups, the Toomey section is in there and talks about them, and the item also covers them. But let's talk about some of the support groups that you cover and help with. All
right, Jeff, I'm the facilitator for the Alzheimer's Association. We meet the first Thursday of every month from 6 to 8. Anybody that needs any information on that can call me. The number is 803-905-7720. At the Alzheimer's Support Group, this is for caregivers, and we do a lot to educate them on the disease process itself, which knowledge is power. And it makes them feel better when they know, what's going on, what to expect, what stages they're going to be in, and what, as their loved ones decline with the Alzheimer's disease. It's just good to know. Education is good. We also are there to support each other. We have anybody from people who have already lost their loved ones, ones that are there because the disease process is brand new and they're just, going through it. We have ones that are in the middle and the late stages. And we laugh, we cry, we have fun, we eat good food.
So we had food. Food will be there.
Food's there.
Okay.
And we just get together and we go through that. But I also give them what they need to go through the Alzheimer's Association to get respite care. They can get that, and it's the Alzheimer's Association is forever doing big fundraiser events to provide this service to anybody who has a loved one with Alzheimer's. And so basically I help them, and they get funds to help pay for caregivers through this.
Now, let me ask you this. To come to your meeting for those caregivers out there, I believe there's ways that to show the importance of it. They can also get reimbursed for their time.
Yes.
Just for coming to the
And that's
meeting
beyond the respite care that they would get, through the Alzheimer's. Anytime they attend an event, whether it be the support group or they're involved in one of the walks they have, they will pay a certain amount of time. It depends on which one they're doing. But
Right.
like at the support groups, it's up to about 2 hours, and they will actually pay for someone to stay with their loved one so they can get out and get this support that they need.
That's super. And great programs I know at Santee Lynch's with the Alzheimer's group. And unfortunately, Dr. Maher, we've talked about this on the show quite a few times. This seems to be a growing need, dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it's just overwhelming families, overwhelming their resources and their ability to care for patients. It's oftentimes just not planned for.
Yeah, and you know, it could go on for years and years and years. And we see it in all aspects of our businesses, and the grind and the toll it takes on the caregivers is enormous, and it kind of jumps up on them. They don't even realize that they have absolutely isolated themselves very much the way the patient has. So this is a tremendous opportunity for people. And again, Cheryl, 6 to 8, and it's the first
Thursday of every month.
Mm-hmm. You come in, if you're someone that's going through the beginning process of it, or even if you've now had a patient that, or someone that you've cared for that has deceased, please come. Share the support is to show each stage, and Cheryl, you kind of talk them through it. I'm sure with your personality, it's a very laid back environment. Like you said, they can come in and eat and cry and discuss and laugh and have a good time and not forget that they have a life themselves to continue on. So I think that's and I think you have speakers that come in too.
We do. We have various speakers come in from time to time. Last month we actually had a massage therapist that came in. We had fun with that. She showed them a lot of ways to take time for themselves and to relax, and things they can do and products they can use that, just really help calm them when they need those moments alone. And it was a good thing. Well,
great. As we start on a second segment that you've talked about, the YWCA, and I think this is extremely important. You and I talked briefly before the show, and I've learned so much about what all they do. I think there's a lot of misconceptions. Some people even wonder probably where they're located. So I want to spend the end of this second segment, and then certainly as much time as you want during the third segment. So if we get started, we may have to cut away, pay a sponsor here and there, but then we'll revisit it. But tell us about your experience with the YWCA.
Well, Jeff, I'm on the board of the YWCA of directors, and basically the YWCA is Young Women's Christian Association, and they're empowering women as well as eliminating racism. They're just there. The domestic violence part of this, they really are there for their victims. Mm-hmm. They provide shelter, food, clothing, family counseling, and it's not just for the victims, but their children as well. There are several shelters that they provide to them. These are very confidential places. It's a safe haven. They don't just help them through that part, but they also help empower them with education and getting jobs and becoming independent and moving on, in great ways. It's a wonderful organization. And they even started recently doing the animals, their pets. They can bring them, So anyway, that's a great thing.
And where am I learning curve? Number one, let's talk about where it's located. It's located on Church Street.
Yes, it is. It's on Church Street.
I think right beside Dr. Givens and Dr. Givens, where Dr. Givens' old office was, but where Mays DeBoe's office is and all that. And I'll tell you what, as we come up, I want you to hold that thought because I do want to ask a few more questions on the YWCA. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Bynum Insurance. Give them a call, 1170 Wilson Hall Road, 469-3030. Go down there and see Sandy for all your needs, and go see Miss Karen Schwartz if you're looking for insurance, they're tremendous there. I've had my insurance with them forever and will always do that. So we'll be back and we'll talk with Cheryl Fluharty as we come up on our second break.
We'll be back with Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care on Sumter's home for news, talk, and sports. WDXY 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine, and they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When you buy home and car insurance, you'll receive a multi-policy discount. And when you buy life insurance, you'll get a special discount on your home and car insurance. Auto owners will save you money on all of the insurance you already have. Now that's good policy. This is Karen Schwartz with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
This is Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
We're back with Medical Forum on this Saturday morning. We're here in the studio today with Cheryl Fluharty talking about some of the programs in Sumter. I'd like to thank our sponsor, At Your Service Home Care, your concierge steward guide to home care and beyond, located at 1250 Wilson Hall Road. The number over there is 607-9677. Cheryl, before the break, we were talking about the YWCA, and as a physician in Sumter, I have referred women to this facility for domestic violence, which is unfortunately oftentimes discovered during a visit and has been an invaluable resource.
And one of the things I just wanted to talk about a little bit was the need for, donations and being involved in the events that they're having, because it's so important. The fish fry is coming up that they're having, and that's going to be on July 31st. They're having a fish fry, and the deadline is like July 27th. You can call this number to place your orders. It's 803-773-7158. We want to do that by the 27th, and this is going to go to really help, build shelters, do replacements, roofs that may need to be done. So it's a big thing for them. So if you can, just get out there and make that call and order your fish plate that day. It would be great.
Well, and I think that if they order a certain amount, maybe even get it delivered. Is that
That's
the case?
Correct. Like 10 or more. I'm out. I want every doctor's office that will come on. Get them all out there and get them for your employees and for your nurses, and just they'll deliver.
Yeah, let's challenge some businesses to get out and support this operation. There's no doubt about it. Secondly, you have a golf tournament as well coming up. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I only have a general date for this right now, but it's Saturday, September 19th. And I'll have to kind of update everybody later as the time, but it is coming up in September. And it's the annual YWCA golf tournament at Lakewood Golf Course. That also is, a fundraiser that's going to go to help with the women and the children and the shelters and the things that they need.
Well, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people to support kind of an organization that does so much and probably has so little notoriety. So, again, the YWCA, congratulations on being on the board. Thank you for the support that they do, as you mentioned, not only for women, for their children, now even for the pets. It's a great way for those of you that are out there that might find yourself in a situation where you feel like you've got no help. See them. They'll bring you in. They don't judge you. They help you. They get everything back in line. They get you back out, and it's just a tremendous operation. So if anybody has any questions, please give Cheryl a call about them. A third thing that I know that we talk about a lot with your community involvement is the senior services, which encompasses a lot of things. Talk to us about the senior services and what all that's out there with them.
Well, I'm involved with just about all of the senior centers, whether it be in Lee County, Sumter, Clarendon County. We do a lot. We're doing blood pressure clinics. We've done flu shot clinics. We do a lot of education for the seniors there. I'm actually on the board of the Sumter Seniors here in Sumter, and we do a lot of events and fundraising and trying to get volunteers to come on to help at the Sumter Seniors. Mm-hmm. You're talking meals, transportation, activities, helping seniors obtain resources in their home. They do computer labs, lessons, trying to get them updated so that they can be on, line like the rest of us.
Yeah.
And doing that. They have a gym for exercise and these things. One of the biggest things I think is a lot of our seniors are isolated and getting out, and they will transport them back and forth. If meals need to be at home, they will, they can get meals at home, but they can have meals at the center. Mm-hmm. Just being out and being involved is a great thing. And there's a lot more that they do for the seniors. They provide them also with other resources connected with Santee Lynch's or the housing authorities or, getting repairs done in their homes and, different things like that.
I don't think anybody knows that depth of help that's out there in the community. And I think what you're bringing, not only from the show, but what you do in your daily activities is you make people aware of these services that are out there. And I know we had Jeff on with Toomey, and the things that the foundation does to support groups like this, I think need to be noted here in town. And the time and effort, when you talk about being on a board, I've been on a couple boards where people think, oh, well, I'm just on the board, I'll show up at the meeting. Now, this is an absolute time-staking commitment. So a lot of times, it's certainly thankless in some cases, and I think it's a great forum for you to get out here and let people know these services are out here. When you mentioned about transportation and getting people in and out, I 100% agree with you. I think when seniors really feel old, it's when they feel isolated, they don't get out, they can't have knowledge to be able to be in this social network, as you mentioned. Learn how to use a computer, learn how to use an iPad, still be able to socialize with people that are very much their age and then younger. We supported, and when I say we, through the community, there was an Olympic, basically, competition, 150 people or so.
Oh, 200 seniors. That was
Tell us about
awesome day.
Tell us about that, because when we're talking about activity, it was a whole day event.
This was basically the Sumter Senior Olympic Day, and really it was a week.
It was a week, yeah.
Yeah, it was a week, and between you and I, Jeff, I think we sponsored the big breakfast on one of the days.
Right.
we were there. And they were doing all kind of things, from relays to, various Family Feud. And there's a lot of prizes involved, and they get a lot of meals during the time there. They have the awards banquet night. They had a golf tournament.
Yep.
And it was, I can't remember right now exactly what they had to pay to do this, but it was minimal.
Yeah.
And so they were actually able to afford to do this whole week of fun and food for minimal amount of money. And then they basically had transportation if they needed it. It was awesome. And they had about 200 seniors out there.
Well, and one of the things we come up on our third break here that I know that you want to talk about is how to become a volunteer. And when you put on an event like this that's going to last a week, it doesn't just happen. There's a lot of people behind it, from preparing food to preparing the organization to watching over these events. So we'll talk about volunteers. We'll be back for our fourth segment. And again, we're here on Saturday morning with Cheryl Fluharty. We'll be right back.
Back with more on Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine, and they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When your policy comes from us, it comes with something extra, a real person. Don't buy from an insurance company with an 800 number and a voicemail menu. Auto Owners Insurance operates exclusively through local independent agencies here to help you with all your insurance needs 24/7. Now that's a good policy. This is Ed Bynum with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Now back to Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care on WDXY, 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
Good morning, and we're back with Medical Forum. Good morning to everybody on this Saturday morning, and remember that we re-air on Sunday again from 2 to 3, in case you've missed anything today. We'd like to thank our sponsor today, Reliable Medical, 934-9212. Go over and see Richard for all of your orthotics, and Aubrey for all of your respiratory products that you need. We're here today talking with Cheryl Fluharty, and we were last talking about the senior services available in Sumter. Cheryl, what do we have coming up?
Well, for the Sumter seniors right now, we got 2 major fundraisers coming up. And that's going to be the Backyard Jamboree. A lot of people in Sumter are familiar with that.
That is fun, people.
Mm-hmm. It's going
Where's that located?
It's going to be this year at Swan Lake Pavilion. And it's going to be on 9/11/15. And it's at 5:30. They're going to have barbecue and the trimmings and music and a Chinese auction.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that all goes towards helping our seniors here in Sumter. Anybody that's interested in helping, volunteering, getting tickets, lots of times you can get your tickets ahead of time and even get free T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But call Shirley Baker at the Sumter Seniors, and that number is 803-773-5508.
I know Reliable Medical has been a sponsor of that on numerous occasions, and it is always a spectacular event. They do a super job there.
Yeah, and then the next thing they have coming up is November. I know that sounds ways off, but it'll be here before we know it. But and a lot of people are familiar with this as well, and that's our Sip and Stroll, and that's going to be again at downtown Sumter, and that'll be on November 13th.
Do this a little description of the Sip and Stroll. I think barbecue we can all get kind of an idea, but they basically go downtown and check out all the different businesses and is it wine tasting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, they had the beer last time. It was really good. All kind of different vendors and different types of beer, and they have food and people that do the catering there, and you get your tickets. It's all, in that ticket. So.
That sounds like a great night. And what that is usually at night, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Usually. And what'll be nice about that with all the business that's going on downtown, we've had a lot of businesses that have come down. So for those of you who haven't been downtown, be a great opportunity to support a great event and get reacclimated to the downtown project. So I think it's very good. Changing gears or back onto a gear that we talked about earlier, volunteers. All of these things that we've talked about, from the Sumter Senior Service to the YWCA to the Alzheimer's, all the boards that you sit on, the work that you do is so much volunteer oriented. And a lot of people look out there when we talk about home health and specifically hospice. Hospice is always looking for volunteers. The hospital is. All these organizations. Give us a little bit of information about what entails being a volunteer. What kind of training maybe do I get? Or what kind of age requirements? And just talk to us about the need for that. I know that's something dear to you.
Well, the volunteer work is so important, and some of it is not just that, we need it. It's some of it's Medicare requirements that you have volunteers involved. And so it's important both ways. But for hospice care, there is a good bit of training that goes in. It's fun. We teach them a lot about end-of-life care and what to expect and, how families are feeling at that time. And sometimes it's just a 80-year-old little wife that wants to go out and work in her garden but doesn't want to leave her husband to do it. And it's just a matter of somebody coming and reading them the Bible or a book or
watching
just
TV
talking
with them,
about old times and just, maybe get them a drink of water. You're not there to take care of the patient. And that's what I think a lot of them fear, is that they're going to be taking care of the patient. Well, they have nurses and CNAs and, caregivers and everything, and they always have a nurse to call. We do have ones that are very comfortable in the role, and the loved one can actually go out and get her hair done that day, or maybe it's the father and he just wants to go fishing for a couple hours that day. It's just so important, and it really makes a difference in their lives.
So what the volunteers' goal there is not to have to, for any of you that are worried about, am I going to be transporting someone or I'm going to be there at the end of the life situation. It is for a caregiver, the wife, for maybe the husband in need who doesn't have the opportunity to leave the house. They're there by their bedside. You would replace them in a fact. It could be as simple as reading a book, talking to them, reliving moments with them, being just a good friend, companion to listen to them, while the caregiver can go to their garden, can take a break, to go to the grocery store, can go to a grandson's game. So it's tremendously valuable. But and there's some training. I know Medical Services of America. Let's give them a plug because I know Dr. Morrow, you're very familiar with them. as a medical director with a hospice. Cheryl, your company that employs you. Talk to them about if somebody wants to be a volunteer for your hospice. And your hospice is not medical services as far as name. It's
Hospice Care of Tri-County.
Hospice Care of Tri-County. And where is that located?
That is on Tahoe Drive in Sumter, 2560 Tahoe Drive. And the number is 803-905-7720. And
y'all do a fantastic job. I know that firsthand from dealing with Debbie and the girls over there and the guys as well. And I know that with home, they also have home health too. So
exactly, home health is in the same location on the other side of us, and that's Tri-County Home Health.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. But we're all a part of Medical Services of America.
So if I'm listening out there, and is there an age requirement to be a volunteer?
There is 18, or above, but we do have things like we'll have a volunteer who, say, is a Boy Scout leader.
Right.
Well, then he can take the younger kids and go help, with the seniors, maybe do some yard work, that they're not able to do anymore. So on that, there always has to be supervision. But
we were, Chris, on our last couple shows, MedTech comes to mind. They were talking about the programs. If you're an 18-year-old who's just graduated high school going, I don't know what I want to do, there are tremendous opportunities to get into with transportation, EMS. And I know you know firsthand from that, Chris, from a paramedic and such, with not a tremendous amount of schooling and cost to apply those. I think that if I was a young guy who's maybe 18, 19 years old, who has even given a notion to nursing, that volunteering to see if that's right in my wheelhouse and up my alley, that might be something to think about. But I'll tell you what, we're coming up on our last break here. We're here with Cheryl Fluharty. Cheryl, give us the phone number on how to reach you directly real quick.
That's 803-905-7720.
All right, and we'll be back with our last segment of Medical Forum on this Saturday. Thank you.
Back with the latest in health and medical news on Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care, WDXY 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted best prosthetic and orthotic business for 7 years.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine, and they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When your insurance policy comes from us, it comes with something extra, a real person. Don't buy from an insurance company with an 800 number and voicemail menu. Auto Owners Insurance operates exclusively through local independent agencies here to help you with all of your insurance needs 24/7. Now that's good policy. This is Bubba Johnson with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
This is Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
Back with Medical Forum here on the Saturday morning again. Listen for us if you've missed any part of the show on Sundays from 2 to 3. We're here with Cheryl Fluharty, getting ready to wrap up the show. Cheryl, you sound like a very busy person with all your support groups. The work that you've done with YWCA, the Alzheimer's support group as a facilitator, certainly all the things that you do with Sumter Seniors that we've mentioned, and those great events coming up. And we want to take this last segment. I know that you got a little crusade of your own, that you're going to start a new support group, as if you're not busy enough. But you've seen the need out there, and you and I and Dr. Marv talked about it, and we concur with you. And so let the people listening in, tell us about the new support group. When's it going to start? Who's it for? Where do we meet? And tell us about your something I think that's near and dear to your heart here.
Well, Jeff, with everything that I've done, and especially with hospice, I see a lot of end-stage disease. And lots of times those end-stage diseases can last for a very long time. And especially when you're talking Alzheimer's, but with anything, end-stage heart disease, end-stage lung disease. And when you have caregivers who are taking care of their loved ones, and it's such a long process, it's a different kind of grief. It's a little hard to explain on the radio, but it's a different type of grief. It's an anticipatory type of grief. You're already losing that loved one, and you're watching them go down every day. And the loved ones that are going...
It's not a criticism of anyone, but now you've got to pick up the bootstraps. Sometimes it's a very lonely... And you feel like you're going through this, alone.
You're all alone.
And it's not true.
You really, when you've taken care of somebody, say it might have been a year, it might have been 2, it could be 3, it could be a lot longer than that. Once it's done, it's like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Because that's what you've done for so long. And even that is a burden. It's really hard to get over.
Well, sadly enough, and Dr. Marr, I know that you're going to have patients like this as well. How often have we seen that once the patient dies, especially the older, a gentleman in his 80s passes away, very soon after, the wife dies too. And she just, basically her existence, especially with a long-term illness where the illness is between going to doctor's appointments and getting good reports and bad reports, and then that up and down, back and forth, and then finally their whole lives have been centered around the upcoming death, which doesn't have a time frame on it, and then they're just so depressed.
And that's what's so good about the anticipatory group that we're going to have, the grief, because not only can you be, getting this support yourself, but you'll find out real fast how you can help other people. And when you help other people, it feels good. And that's what I find in a lot of my support groups. Yeah. Before you know it, they're so involved, not just in getting the support themselves, but in helping other people.
Isn't it amazing when you're telling somebody else, hey, it's not so bad, or hey, we can get over this, or hey, we can get through this. The ramifications for yourself going, yeah, I can get through this. I can do this. And I think it's a tremendous support group. And again, who are we? Who's the target here? It's not just one isolated group. It's anyone who, like you said, has gone through. We talked about end-stage cancer, stage 4 cancer, end-stage renal failure. The list goes on.
Yes, it does. Basically, there could be any disease that caused someone
Alzheimer's, dementia.
Yeah, and that's a big one, and it's real hard. So anyway, I think this group is going to be really good, and we're going to be offering, refreshments, and it's going to be very light, very laid back, very comforting. A lot of good people there. We'll bring in people as we need to as well, that can offer even more to the group. So anyway, I think it's going to be real good. And that address,
the name again, give us the name and all the specs one more time on it. So
once again, that we're going to be holding this at Your Service Home Care, and that's at 1250 Wilson Hall Road, Sumter, South Carolina. You can call 803-607-9677, or you can call 803-905-7720. Just give us a call. We'll give you some more information and look forward to anyone who would love to come and just be a part of our grief group.
Well, Cheryl, as we wind down here, we got about a minute left in the show. I want to thank you for coming in again on a Saturday morning and give us the contact information. Medical Services of America. You've been there 14 years, resource community nurse. I think everyone who's listening in can see the passion in your voice and realize that just giving you a call, there's not only a wealth of knowledge, but there's going to be a good friend and a companion who looks out for them, and it sounds like you just don't stop until you get them, all the help they need. So please give us contact information as we close down the show.
All right. Well, I love what I do, so please call me. Cheryl Fluharty. The number is 803-905-7720.
Chris, I've enjoyed it as always.
Have a good week, Jeff.
And I'll see you next week, man. Thanks.